anyway, we're sitting here. We're talking about the dog. And I suggested that when we're not here, the dog and the cats get together and they reminisce about how much fun it was to have fleas. And then you said...
Yeah, that's what they say. It's like you going on about, oh, how wonderful it was to have lice.
Well, it was back in the 60s. Can't believe I'm saying shit like this. It's back in the 60s.
It was the 1960s.
It was the 1960s, everybody.
1860s?
1860s, yeah. So anyway, my grandmother was in. And she was sitting looking out the window. My brother was outside. And he was scratching his head like this. Right? Both hands. Just going. Crazy. And my grandmother went, that boy's got lice. And Mom went, no. Can't. Yeah, that boy's got lice. They brought him in. Sure enough, they had lice. Now, then they checked me. I had lice. They checked my sister. She had lice. Everybody had lice. So they said,
you're a lousy bunch.
We were a lousy bunch. We were a lousy friggin' family, I can tell you that day. So they went and they wrote a note. Oh, no, they called the pharmacy. And, you know, like in those days in Halifax, the North End, everybody knew each other. So Mom knew the pharmacist by name. Her name was Mary, actually. I still remember that. And they said, well, she said, I'll send Tommy up. Right? And she wrote me a note. She put the money in. And off I go. I'm about 10 years old. And so I go up. And she's got a bag there. It's in the bag. Like, I mean, there is no, it's not out. It's just in the bag. It's in the, you know, paper bag. Because it was sort of like, you know,
you don't want no one to know.
Bag, don't want anybody to know that we're lousy. We come home. And I come home, and they line us up, and what's in the bag is fine-tooth combs, and these little, like, they look like hockey pucks. They were yellow and a maroon with maroon writing, and they were brown around the edge, and there was a tab on them. You pulled the tab, and there was a hole, and when you squeezed them, this puff comes out. Now, what that puff was DDT. And they were spraying this stuff directly onto our heads. Right? Now, considering what we all know about DDT, I'm thinking, wow. Right? She's got a bump on her right here.
Yeah, I know.
What's that?
Remember I was explaining that to you before? She got into something spilt on her.
Oh.
And it's right into her hair.
Oh, okay.
Like tree sap or something.
Oh, okay.
Look at that. She's trying to crawl into my lap.
Yeah. So anyway, they're spraying this DDT on us, and the lice went away, and the pucks were still... You know, there was still one of those pucks in the basement. You know, a little shelf in the basement?
Yeah.
There was a yellow puck there. That was there. Right? It just never went away. So anyway, that's the lice thing. And so she wants to climb on you.
Yeah.
Hey, Kelly, you're taking my frame.
You're taking more than the frame.
Well, what is it W.C. Field said? Never do a movie with kids or dogs?
See, now King Checker's the lucky back there.
Oh, yeah, he's sitting back there. Yeah.
And even Mortimer's trying to steal your spotlight.
Yeah. So, you know, it was pretty weird. But in those days, the whole family lived in the house. My sister and her family, my cousin was there. She was pregnant, and she was with the guy she was with, right? And her sister was there. I don't know, there was like 15 or 16 of us in there in this small, well, it wasn't small, but it was...
I was just going to say, what kind of universe do you live in that house was small?
Yeah, well, that was a pretty big house, but I mean, there were so many people there, right? We all lived together, and that's the way you know, that's the way it was. And we weren't exceptional. I mean, up the street, my friend Teddy, his aunt and her kids all lived there, right? And I don't know where they all slept. I mean, you know, it's just the way things were back then, right? Like, nobody had any money. There was never a new car, right? Because nobody could afford a new car. If somebody got a new car, well, I remember the guy down the street was a customs officer, and that was a good job. And he got a new car, and it was 5 years old or 4 years old, right? It was a Dodge Polaris. Great big boat, man. Jeez, it was a nice car. He got that in '69. But, I mean, the thing is that even with that good job he had, he couldn't afford a new car. But, no, everybody lived together in those days, and it was pretty cool. We all got Lice together, right? Yeah, that's funny. We were a lousy family.